If you've been wanting to know more about the customization in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, we're figuring out a ton of information in today's video, and we're starting right now. So we have an awesome question and answer from the producer, or one of the producers of the game. This is awesome. We're going to cover it live today. I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. Post in the comments as well. What is the first thing? I'm sorry, Nakupa, I'm still in it because I saw some crazy answers. What's the first thing you're going to do when you get on the game? When you get the opportunity to log on? So what we're going to do for this is I'm going to go through and kind of just chop and screw this video my own way so you guys can kind of digest it with me as we go. What was the incentive for reviewing the Budokai, or reviving, excuse me, the Budokai Tenkaichi series after so many years? First of all, we are very aware that this game series has a very, very strong fan base, and we're very grateful to have such loyal fans. 17 years ago, we launched the third installment of Budokai Tenkaichi and concluded the series. Since then, there have been several other Dragon Ball games, filling the time and the gap for Budokai Tenkaichi players. But given all the developments in the gaming technology, there was the inspiration and incentive. Therefore, we decided to create a sequel to Budokai Tenkaichi. I'm sorry, Mr. Producer-san. I really would love to hear you give your own spiel on it, but I've got to narrate it because it just makes the video flow a little bit better. So, obviously, not trying to take anything away from him. But, yeah, that's a really cool answer. We're going to have so many more awesome answers in this video, so stay tuned because, like we said, we have some interesting stuff about the customization stuff that has been spoiled for me a little bit. But we're going to talk about that when we get to it in just a moment. But, overall, I'm really excited that they're reviving the series. I mean, there were other games that kind of like were able to. When did Tag Team come out? When did Tag Team come out? I think it was after Tenkaichi 3, right? It's been so unbelievably long whenever those games popped up. And then there was games like Raging Blast that were kind of close, that kind of scratched that itch, but I'm really excited nonetheless that we're getting Sparking Zero. All right, time for number 2. What inspired the development of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and how does it build upon the legacy of the Budokai Tenkaichi series? It builds on the legacy by telling everyone to make sure that they subscribe because 80% of viewers aren't subscribed, and if they want to see awesome content, then they need to subscribe. Wait a minute, that's not a part of his answer. Of course, as I said, this game is a sequel to the Budokai Tenkaichi series. It's named Sparking Zero because Budokai Tenkaichi 3 was launched as Sparking Meteor in Japan. I gotta interject here and say I really like how they've been trying to make that very, very clear for the non-Japan audience because there was some confusion about that for some players when this first popped up. They're like, why are they not just calling it Tenkaichi 4, right? So yeah, I think that's pretty interesting. What it is, they didn't want to step on the feet of that awesome fan mod. If you didn't see that mod, it's been around for a while now. They actually just updated it again. How many of you guys are playing that? I actually was told I should play it, so I'm going to be diving in really soon. Content or nah? As a successor, it's important that players who played the previous games have an experience that is new, but also fits seamlessly into their old memories. When they play the new game, it should feel like, oh yeah, this is familiar, like the previous games. I really think that's going to be able to be achieved pretty well when it does feel the same way. Heck, I just spit. And you're able to use that same control layout as well. How many of you guys are going to be using classical controls or the new style? We adapted the original battle system, but we also kind of evolved it and put in some new mechanics. Trying to create a new, more immersive experience. I've already done enough interjecting, so I don't really have much else to say about that, but I'm really excited, like I said. Question 3. What improvements have been made since Budokai Tenkaichi 3? One of the main improvements is that you can experience the superpowers of Goku and the others in real time. One of our main goals is to let the players experience what it's like to be a character in the Dragon Ball world. Oh my god, I'm so excited! Wait, I've already been experiencing that for the last, like, 10 years with Xenoverse, right? Right? Or no. They're trying to say that this is an entirely new experience. I'm just joking. Please don't bite my head off, please. I'm just joking. And we are putting a lot of effort into this. The weather and the background changes, or, you know, the environmental changes when Goku starts charging his ki. These kind of things are, of course, now possible in real time. Like if you hit someone with a Kamehameha, for example, and you blow them away, then when they hit a building, the building will crumble or a mountain will be destroyed. So all of the interactions with the environment in real time, it makes the whole thing a much more immersive experience. Okay, all right, I like it a lot. And you can see that stuff in the trailers that we've seen thus far. So that's really cool. And it makes the player feel like they're really inhabiting the character. So on top of those real-time features that we just explained, for example, like in the Dragon Ball series, you can instantly move from one place to another using a quasi-teleportation, and there are other things like when you are attacked, you can counter the attack and fight back. That is called a revenge counter in the game. These are all things that the fans know from the Dragon Ball series, which are now added to the fighting system so you can have a more Dragon Ball-centric experience. All right, Mr. Producer Guy, I'm sorry, I wasn't familiar with your game, okay? It's not Xenoverse. Again, just kidding. All right, you gotta make that very clear, because I've seen a lot of instances online where it's like, you could praise this game to no end and say nothing bad about it just every single day for your entire life up to that point. But the second you say anything even remotely possible to say, like, anything disparaging at all, like, you don't like this strand of hair on this character, you're going to get absolutely destroyed. So, for me, I have no problems. Don't come after me. Question 4. Could you tell us more about the episode battle mode and the impact of players' decisions? Oh, baby, we're getting to that good stuff now. So as you could probably see in previously released videos, there is an option for players to make choices within the episode battle which will impact how the story will proceed. Think like where Krillin goes with Goku to fight Raditz, things like that. There's been a ton of stuff like that already popping up online, and it's going to be so fun. Which one moment are you hoping to reenact with your own personal changes? Post down below in the comments. But at the same time, there are certain outcomes of battles that may also impact the outcome of the story. For example, if within an episode battle you win against an opponent that in the anime you weren't able to beat, this may impact upcoming battles and battle scenarios. The trickle-down effect, that's kind of cool. I like it a lot. I really like that they kept it like where it's like this triggers this as opposed to just kind of like, oh, Goku beat so-and-so or so-and-so beat so-and-so. That wasn't how that went. But whatever, let's keep things going exactly how you remember. Both the choices that the player makes and the outcome of the battle may influence the chance that the player will experience new battle story paths. Therefore, ideally, the player should try to become the character, think about how they would react in that situation, and enjoy the different experiences that arise in the episode battle. I can tell you right now, the one scene that I want to reenact is Krillin, where he had the remote and he was looking at it. He was looking at his baddie. He was looking at the remote. He was looking at his baddie. And he decided ultimately to smash that thing. I got to tell you, man, Krillin, you made the right decision, my guy. And so I'm hoping to reenact it, not to change anything, but just to make sure that it stays the same, right? And enjoy the different experiences that arise in the episode battle. That's cool. So the next one that he had here was, of course, episode battle is based on the original scenario. So naturally, these choices and these different outcomes are limited to certain battle stages and will not be available all the time. So they're trying to say there's some canon events. Like they think MCU stuff, right? There's some stuff that has to take place on the timeline, and maybe that's not exactly where he's going, but this is where my mind goes, right? So there's some stuff that has to take place. You can't change Goku decide. Maybe you can, but theoretically, you can't change Goku deciding to sacrifice himself because Gohan didn't want to beat Cell. He's too busy playing around. So I don't know. Maybe you can. I don't know. We'll see. But that's the way I interpret this.
Question 5.
Talking about custom battle, how much freedom do players have to customize and create new scenes and events? In the custom events, you can customize a lot of things like the positioning of the player, the camera movements, the pose, or the facial expressions, etc. Players can choose from a variety of pre-made options as well. You'll have multiple poses, for example. There are dozens of pre-made poses that you can use. There is also a collection with dozens of pre-made facial expressions and so on and so on. So there's quite a lot of freedom when creating a scene to customize the way you want to create it. Additionally, there are scripts and subtitles that you can add to the cutscenes. Oh, that's more my speed. I'm sitting there reading this like, I personally, I'm not like a huge like pose stance, like all that type of stuff that he was talking about, but I think, hey, the cutscenes and dialogue, that could be kind of cool. I like that a lot. I may have to test that out, man. I like that a lot. That could be fun. Dude, I've been having trouble. You guys have probably noticed. I've been having trouble with my Stream Deck, actually. Like, I got to smash this button for it to pause the recording. There's a pre-selection of roughly 5,000 lines. Woof! I assume these aren't going to be voiced, right? Because if they're voiced, we're on a whole other level of cooking. If they are voiced, oh my god. Oh, we are cooking like an MFer. Oh my god. Within these texts, you can also switch certain nouns. Where would that be useful? Let me know in the comments. I can't think of it right now. I don't want to spend too much time on it. Post it. For example, you can also switch certain nouns. Wait, what? Okay, for example, you could change the name of the characters like Goku or Vegeta. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, that's more along the lines of what I was thinking about in the first place, but hearing him spell it out like that makes much more sense. So this way you can create good dialogue within the scenes that you're building. Yeah, I like that. What's your favorite in-game feature and why for question 6? For me, the most important thing and the best thing about this game is that you can actually become a character. He said that a few times in this interview about how important it is to feel like you are that character in this game from the series, right? That's really cool that that's one of their main focuses. I think it's very important, therefore we put a lot of effort into the real-time features that we talked about. These features allow players to experience superpowers. They allow you to become super-powered characters and use their special moves. You know, like, I know they have superpowers, obviously, because they're not just regular humans walking around, right? But I don't really think about it like that. Like, when I think superpowers, I think other stuff, like, I don't know, like some of these comic book heroes or whatever. I don't really think about Dragon Ball that way. That's, in my mind, they don't match. So hearing him say superpowered or superpowers, like, I know they have it, obviously. Just in my mind, it doesn't correlate. So I'm just now making this connection. It's kind of a weird thing, considering I've been a fan of this series for like 26 years or so. So kind of a weird thing. I'm sure at some point I've thought about it, but just now in my adulthood, I don't really think about it. But I like it. I like that terminology a lot. Every single character in the roster is unique. They all have big special moves, but also small movements. Like punches and kicks are customized, so they feel unique. We put a lot of effort into these small details, which is what makes the game so special to me. That's a huge, huge deal. And I'm sure there's going to be some copy-paste across the game because there's just so many characters, right? But while I love Tenkaichi 3, it was very apparent to me, even as a kid when that came out, right? I played the game when it first came out. It was very apparent to me, even as a kid, that a lot of characters were kind of the same. They did a lot of the same movements, had a lot of the same attacks, but you know, hopefully that's not really the case here. So let's move on. So, of course, I would be happy if the players hopefully notice these details and enjoy the immersive experience of becoming a Dragon Ball character. Oh, you just gave me chills, bro. I am so unbelievably excited. This is going to be so fun. And with so many characters in the game, I am sure that some of your favorites are going to be represented. If you want to see my video talking about the best characters in the game from that recent leak that we got where they showed ones that haven't even been revealed in the trailers yet, then you need to click the video on the screen right now.